You ever wonder why some tech products just blow up? They become these massive overnight successes, while others, with seemingly great ideas, just fizzle out. Well, today we're going to dive into that. We're going to explore the one critical challenge that separates the giants, the Ubers and the Airbnbs, from all the ghost towns in the App Store. It's called the cold start problem. And this idea isn't even new. This quote from way back in 1900, from the president of AT&T no less, perfectly captures the magic behind today's most powerful products. It's called the network effect, and it's a really simple idea with, well, profound implications. Some products just get more and more valuable the more people use them. A social network is pretty useless if none of your friends are on it, right? A marketplace is pointless without both buyers and sellers. But, and this is a big but, this magical force has a really dark side. See, for anyone trying to launch something new, the very thing that makes these products so powerful becomes this massive wall that feels almost impossible to climb. It's a paradox, and it's one that crushes most new ideas before they even get off the ground. So here are the two sides of that same coin. Once a network is popular, it kicks off this amazing virtuous cycle. More users create more value, which attracts even more users, and it just keeps feeding itself. But when you're just starting out, you're trapped in a vicious cycle. No users means no value, and with no value, no new users are going to join. The network basically dies before it even has a chance to live. This is exactly what Andrew Chen talks about in his book of the same name. He calls it the cold start problem. And honestly, it is the single biggest reason why most new apps just feel like ghost towns. You download it, you open it up, you see nobody's there, and what do? You leave, and you probably never come back.
Exactly. Why would you? This emptiness creates what Chen calls anti-network effects. The void actually pushes users away. So the very same force that makes giants like Uber and Facebook so sticky and so dominant works against a new product, pushing it toward total collapse.
Okay, so if this problem is so deadly, how in the world do the winners break through? How did Tinder solve the empty dating app problem? How did Slack build this enormous communication network completely from scratch? Well, it turns out they all used the exact same core strategy.
And the solution? It's completely counterintuitive. To get big, you have to start small. Actually, you have to start impossibly small. The goal isn't to launch to everybody. It's to launch to the absolute fewest number of the right people. The real key here is to build what Chen calls an atomic network. Now, think of this as the smallest, most dense group of users you can imagine that can create real value for each other and then become totally self-sustaining. It's a network that's stable enough to survive and eventually to grow all on its own. To really get how powerful this idea is, let's look at a fantastic example. And it has nothing to do with modern tech, but it has everything to do with cracking the cold start problem. Let's rewind the clock to 1958. Bank of America wants to launch this radical new product, the credit card. But just think about the cold start problem here for a second. A credit card is totally useless if no stores accept it, right? And stores won't bother accepting it if nobody has one. So instead of some big statewide launch, they focused all their energy on one small, kind of isolated city, Fresno, California. And what they did here was just brilliant. It shows you exactly how they engineered their atomic network. They didn't just target Fresno, they completely saturated it. They mass-mailed 60,000 ready-to-use cards to residents. And get this, nearly half of them were already Bank of America customers. But here's the real magic. At the same exact time, they signed up over 300 local merchants. So on day one, bam, thousands of people in Fresno suddenly had a new way to pay. And hundreds of local stores were ready to take their money. They created this instant, dense, and self-sustaining little ecosystem. They built one perfect atomic network first, and only after that did they even think about expanding. Okay, so how does this apply to the tech world today? Well, today's biggest winners use the exact same playbook. They just build their own Fresno in a different kind of place. Take Tinder. They didn't launch to the world, not even to all of LA. Their Fresno was a single college party at USC.
They invited just 500 of the most social, most connected students, got them all on the app at the same time, and boom, an atomic network was born right there.
For Slack, the atomic network was even smaller. They figured out that their product became really sticky and valuable with just a single team of 3 people. Not a whole company, not an industry, just 3 coworkers who needed a better way to chat.
And then there's Zoom, which is even more basic. The CEO, Eric Yuan, has said that for Zoom to be useful, all you need is 2 people who want to have a conversation. That's it. That is the atomic network. One person calls another, and value is created. Simple as that. So this super focused atomic launch is the complete opposite of the Big Bang approach that so many big established companies try. They think their massive marketing budget is an advantage, but for new networks, it often ends up being a fatal trap. And the classic cautionary tale here is, of course, Google+. Google launched it to the entire world, used its powerful homepage to drive tons of traffic, and quickly got over 90 million users. But those users were scattered all over the place, totally disconnected from each other. They created thousands of weak, empty little networks instead of one strong, atomic one. And the result? People spent an average of just 3 minutes a month there. It was a complete virtual ghost town. So what does all of this mean for you? I mean, whether you're trying to build a new product, or maybe launch a community, or even if you just want to understand how the digital world really gets built. Well, it means you have to fight that natural urge to go big. As the venture capitalist Chris Dixon famously said, the next big thing will start out looking like a toy. You have to find a tiny, almost insignificant seeming niche and just make it absolutely perfect for that one small group first. It really all comes down to a shift in your mindset. The losing approach focuses on total market size and wide distribution. But the winning approach, it obsesses over density and a super niche audience. It's all about creating one stable, happy network before you even think about scaling. So the single most important lesson, the big takeaway from all this, is this beautiful, simple paradox. To get big, you have to launch small. Find the smallest group of people possible, solve their problem perfectly, and make them so happy that they can't help but tell other people. That's how real growth starts. And that leaves us with one final question. Whether your idea is a new business, a community, or a social movement, don't ask yourself, how can I reach millions of people? Instead, ask yourself this. What's the smallest, most stable network that you can build to launch your idea? What's your Fresno?